you constantly want to look perfect? Do you constantly want to be perfect? Perfectionism is divided into 3 parts, and in each one, you can improve, not fix, to serve you, not the other way around. Who are you? We've been built and changed from others, and we call that ourselves, but who are you? This question started with you as a baby. You don't even know the world. You don't know yourself as being a baby, but you take what others do to you as yourself. If you were neglected as a baby and your parents did not care about you, your small mind says, "Oh, it's because of something I did," and goes into problem-solving mode. You figure out as you grow up how to prevent that reaction, to prevent your parents neglecting you, to prevent the abuse they gave you, and from them, to give you a different reaction, a better reaction, a happy reaction. As you keep growing, you soon start to find little ways to prevent the intensity of that reaction. You still might get it, but it's less than normal. And then you become quote-unquote happy because of that. So you keep doing what you're doing, and then you start to experiment with other ways to please them even more. And they might not work out sometimes, so then you just throw them away and find other ways, or you keep going back to your old ways just to please them. Now notice, during this whole process, I never said you. I never said to the benefit of you or to help you, but your parents, other people, and your quote-unquote friends. And this is where people-pleasing comes from. And perfectionism stems from people-pleasing. Now, once we become people pleasers to the parents, to the friends, to the family, and even to the teachers, you start to feel like you're not good enough and you need to be better. You do not want to get better, you need to get better. You start to become obsessed with getting better, and this is where perfectionism is born. This is where you choose to not change, or you choose to stay here because it's comfortable and because you have the validation of others that fills the void you never had. Realize that you're staying with a parasite. You're staying with people who like the perfect version of you, not the actual version of you. But they keep you there because you're easy to toy with. And you stay there because it's comfortable, because it's reliable, because it gives you cheap dopamine, because it gives you parents in a different font. Just because this is comfortable does not mean it's good for you. Babe, you have to know that those friends are not your parents, and you need a relationship that benefits both sides, not benefits one and brings down the other. That is not a relationship, that is slavery. You continuously become their slave to serve them and to get validation while still being accepted and not leaving your comfort zone. So you think that's a win-win situation. But it's not, because the day you did that as a child, you got a negative reaction, and now you're scared of that same reaction from different people. You're not afraid of people, you're afraid of what they'll do once they see you're not perfect and you're just human. And you also stay because of validation. And this is what I was talking about, being their parents, because you wanted to please your parents so badly that you just can't handle no love or no affection because you were taught that they were supposed to love you, and now you're putting that burden on someone else. When you're putting that burden on someone else, you put them in an invisible pedestal, and when they betray you, you almost don't believe it because you expected them to just be living and you being their slave. But once they disappoint you, you think it's your fault, when in reality all you did was put them in your parents' position when they were meant to be a friend. Now your life now let's reflect a little bit. How is your life now? Are you happy that you have to change everything about you to stay stuck in a box that wasn't even made for you? You did not even make the box, so why are you fitting into it? Yes, we have stereotypes, racism, and certain thoughts about people, but why not break them? Rules are made for organization, not restriction. And take it from a used-to-be perfectionist, rules already add to the non-negotiables you have to do every single day. And if you don't do those non-negotiable things, that makes you less perfect. Perfectionism is not discipline, it is hurt. And it keeps hurting you over and over again until the bruise becomes a cut, and that cut turns into a wound, and that wound turns into a permanent stab that no medicine can actually heal. The only person who can heal this wound is you. As a perfectionist, you set impossible standards. You're scared of failure. You set high expectations that, when not met, you criticize yourself harshly. You don't give yourself room for mistakes when mistakes are supposed to help you. If mistakes can't get in, growth cannot get in. And that's why perfectionism is a cycle. It's not something you can easily get out of, because your whole life revolves around being perfect. Your whole life is revolving around invisible perfectionism. And if anyone else can't even see that you're a perfectionist, you can't see either. Because then you start to think it's normal. That everyone is a perfectionist and everyone has impossibly high standards that they always meet, unlike you. That is not true. Being a perfectionist might seem normalized, but it is not normal. You cannot expect yourself to be completely perfect, because there is no perfect. Everyone's perception of perfect is different. Therefore, perfection does not exist. You might be halfway to your perfection, but you might be 100% the way there for someone else's perfection, because there is no set perfection. And life makes it impossible to be perfect, because life moves. It can drag or run right next to you in a race, and life happens. Friends leave, you grow, accomplishments are made, you suddenly get insecure. These things are what make life beautiful. That's why we enjoy life, because it's not perfect, but it's human. Just like us, it has hurricanes, tsunamis, tornadoes, just like how we do sometimes. But how come when we see that in the world and think nothing of it, but when we see it in ourselves, we feel bad? I genuinely do not get it. The world is already showing imperfectionism, but once we show it, we get mad. We tell ourselves we're not good enough and we need to catch up because other people are doing better. Are they? Do you know exactly how their life is? No. What if their life is worse? What if they're currently wishing to be you? What if you're in the better position, but you just don't recognize it because of all the perfection? The place you are in right now is perfect. It was perfected for you and for only you, not no one else. Perfectionism also takes gratitude, helpful self-awareness, etc. away. You start to not realize what you have right now and what is meant for you. You don't see that, and that's what causes such low gratitude in your own life. The fact is, you can't see your life's already good because you continuously want more. You want to win. You want to be that first or everything, and if you don't, you come crumbling down. No, you are fortunate to be in this position. Other people would kill to be in your position, and you have to be grateful for that. Grateful that you're someone's dream girl / guy, that you have someone's dream life and you don't even know and you don't even want it because you're trying to get more. If you keep reaching for more and you don't know when to get enough, you will never be satisfied. You are thrilled by the thought that there is something better out there, but you're not grateful for the life you already have, so how is it going to come in? Perfectionism also takes helpful self-awareness. When we are in the flow state of perfectionism, we get super self-aware. So self-aware that whatever action we take, we criticize and we label as a flaw. So we keep on doing this and we create a closet full of flaws that are not even flaws in the first place, but you're just being human. When we re-enter this flow state perfectionism, we see these flaws as the enemy and we try to perfect them as much as possible. So if someone didn't like what you said, you dim down your light. If someone didn't like the way you dress, you change it. If you get a 90 on a test, you retake it to get a full mark. But realize that this is tiring. Dealing with this, life in general, and our basic human needs is a lot. I do not want to be worrying about how perfect to be for someone when I'm not even what I think is perfect for myself. Your self-awareness in this case works against you and becomes the thing you need, because without it, you're one less step to being perfect, because you don't have a guide to guide you to being perfect. Your self-awareness is supposed to tell you where to improve and to change something, not delete it and copy and paste someone else's requests or opinions just to serve them. You are essentially becoming a slave from your increased self-awareness that makes you want to be perfect for your quote-unquote friends when all they want is a person to play and manipulate so you become their slave. Starve perfectionism before it starves you. As I said, getting out of the perfectionist mindset is not easy, and it takes time because it is fully ingrained in your actions, personality, and your mindset. So here are 4 tips to help you become perfectly imperfect. Realize it, don't deny it. When we are used to being in the circle of perfectionism, you don't even know you're in it. You just think that A, everyone else has it and you're not special. Or B, you believe you don't have perfectionism, you just have goals. Perfectionism is not in everyone. It is built from everyone. Meaning, you cannot create your own perfectionism. It is built from others and you're trying to deny that it even exists. Because you like where you are because it's comfortable. It's nice being at the top. It's safe. The problem with safety is that it never stays in one place. Meaning that you might feel safe in a quote-unquote friend's presence, but they might cut you off. So you try to look for other friends that make you feel safe or the same way. That they reciprocate the protection that your old friend used to have. But the problem is that now you will do anything to get that protection, including becoming a box that was never made from you, but from the desire to be perfect for every person, so just that you can feel safe. You cannot deny being a perfectionist because once you do, you have to give up being safe. But in that process, you learn to be safe with yourself. Rewire your mindset. Once you accept that you are a perfectionist, you can start creating your new world and make it a safe, happy place. Instead of saying, I failed, say, I learned. I learned that whatever I did now was not meant for me, and that's literally okay. Since the action was not meant for me, I will get something better. Just because you failed at something does not mean you should stop trying and work towards getting better, because you are better. Instead of saying, I have to get full marks, say, I can get whatever mark I put into. Full scores or marks on a test does not matter if you don't put the work into it. And as a perfectionist, again, we do anything and everything to get full marks because we are afraid of failure. And realize that the goal you're trying to reach, whether that being full marks on a test or a personal goal, is achievable without trying so hard that we bend over backwards and decrease the time we put into ourselves. Progress over perfection. Growth and improvement help you become better overall as a person. And progress looks different each day. It looks different each day. Some days it will look really slow. And some days it will look really fast. But the important thing here is that you're improving. You love yourself so much that you're taking actions to improve yourself on a daily basis to become perfectly imperfect for yourself. Whatever that might be, like being consistent, being disciplined, having the exact house you want, or you just want to get better. Those small increments of improvement and growth show over time, and you just have to be willing to put away instant rewards to get a bigger reward in the future. Once you show patience and you realize that growth will increase over time to give you something better than you even imagined, then that's when it all starts to come together. If you keep rooting for instant comfort and rewards, you keep wanting it, and that's the problem. You want it every single day, and that causes you to be in the same position just to get it, when in reality, long-term rewards feel greater. Because you fell in love with the process of being in pain, yes, pain. The process of growing so much that you can't handle it because your future self can. Learn to fight your own mind. Because our mind is constantly with us every single day. And if we don't know how to combat it, it will take control over our own lives. For those safe thoughts like, don't go to the gym, stay in bed, you will catch up later, rest now. Contradict them. Say no. Because if I do that, I'm taking one step behind what I'm working towards. And at this very point, your ego will be very mad because it does not want to change. Because it's used to getting its way, which means that it would hurt you on a daily basis. Our minds are constantly trying to find ways to become safe, to feel accepted by others, that we don't even focus on ourselves anymore. We just focus on other people and what protection they give us. Do not let your mind be the reason to pull you back when it's supposed to propel you forward. Do not let your mind bully you or drag you back to the starting line, because that's when you start letting your mind control you and your life. Learn to combat your mind so your place in your head turns into a happy place. Put your own mind in their place and put it on the spot, and make sure your mind knows that you're the boss and that you'll never give up control no matter what, because you are the stuntman of your own life. Know when to stand up for yourself, from yourself. Because you can be your biggest enemy or your biggest cheerleader. You just need to show your mind who's boss, who's in control, and you need to know when to argue with your mind about staying comfortable and about staying behind. Get your mind back on track to your goal and to your daily needs to get the life you want. This podcast episode is slowly coming to an end. And again, I just spoke so loud. That's okay. And I'm so grateful for the community I built, and we'll keep on building. I will see you in the next podcast episode.